San Francisco, a city trapped. To the north, the Marin headlands rise like a fortress wall. The west, the endless, churning Pacific Ocean. And between them lies a gap. 1 mile wide throat of water known as the Golden Gate. For centuries, this strait was considered unbridgeable. The tides here rip through at 7 knots, fast enough to drag a swimmer out to sea in seconds. The winds howl at 60 miles per hour. The fog is so thick it can hide a battleship. And beneath the surface, the San Andreas Fault lies waiting, a ticking time bomb capable of shattering the earth. Engineers looked at the Golden Gate and saw a graveyard. They said no bridge could stand against the forces of nature here. They said the water was too deep, the rock too soft, the weather too violent. But one man disagreed. A man with a poet's soul and an engineer's ego. Joseph Strauss. He was small in stature, but his ambition was colossal. He didn't just want to build a bridge. He wanted to tame the impossible. This is the story of the most dangerous construction project in American history. A battle against the ocean, the wind, and gravity itself. A story of men who walked on air, of a safety net that saved 19 lives and a tragedy that claimed 10. Welcome to the edge of the world. This is how they built the Golden Gate. 1933. The Great Depression has America in a stranglehold. But in San Francisco, hope is rising from the water. Construction begins not in the sky, but in the dark, freezing depths of the strait. The first challenge is the foundation for the South Tower. The North Tower, on the Marin side, sits comfortably on solid rock near the shore. But the South Tower has to stand 1,100 feet offshore, in the middle of the most violent water on the West Coast. Strauss's plan is audacious. Build a concrete island in the open ocean. To do this, divers must descend 100 feet into the murky darkness. These men are the unsung heroes of the bridge. Wearing 200-pound canvas and brass suits, they are lowered blindly into currents that can snap their air hoses like twigs. They are building a cofferdam, a massive concrete wall to hold back the ocean. It's like trying to build a bathtub in the middle of a hurricane. Disaster strikes almost immediately. A storm hits the construction site, sending waves crashing over the unfinished fender wall. The access trestle, the only lifeline connecting the tower site to the shore, is smashed to pieces by a freighter lost in the fog. Strauss watches his dream crumble into the sea. But he doesn't quit. He rebuilds. Again and again. The divers go back down. The concrete pours continue day and night. Finally, the cofferdam is complete. Giant pumps roar to life, sucking millions of gallons of seawater out of the concrete oval. As the water level drops, the seabed is revealed, dry. Land in the middle of the ocean. It is a miracle of engineering. Now the real work begins. The foundation for the South Tower is poured, a solid block of concrete the size of a football field. It will anchor the weight of the world. 1934. The foundations are set. Now the bridge must rise. The towers begin to climb. Not made of stone like the Brooklyn Bridge, but of steel. Bethlehem steel from Pennsylvania. Thousands of tons of it shipped through the Panama Canal to San Francisco. The design is Art Deco, sleek, modern, vertical. The architect Irving Morrow adds fluting to the steel skins, catching the light and shadow, making the towers look less like industrial skeletons and more like soaring cathedrals. But beauty comes at a price. As the towers rise, so does the danger. At 300 feet, the wind begins to sing through the steel. At 500 feet, the fog rolls in, swallowing the workers whole. These men are skywalkers. Ironworkers who walk on beams 6 inches wide, 700 feet above the churning water. One slip and gravity takes over. There are no safety harnesses here, just balance, nerve, and luck. The North Tower is finished first, standing tall on the Marin shore. Then the South Tower rises from the sea to meet it. They stand 746 feet high, the tallest structures west of New York City. But they are just two lonely giants separated by 4,200 feet of empty air. The gap between them is immense. It seems impossible to cross. How do you connect two towers across a mile of open ocean? You don't build a bridge, you spin a web. 1935. The most delicate phase begins. The spinning of the main cables. First, pilot ropes are dragged across the strait by barges, lifted out of the water and draped over the tops of the towers. Then the catwalks are built, narrow wooden footbridges that hang between the towers, following the curve of the future cables. These catwalks are terrifying. They are flimsy, swaying ribbons of wood open to the wind and rain. Workers call them the ribbon of death. In high winds they swing 20 feet side to side. Men have to lie flat and hold on for dear life until the gusts pass. But the work must go on. The spinning wheels begin their journey. Red wheels carrying thin steel wires, no thicker than a pencil, travel back and forth from anchorage to anchorage. It is a mesmerizing dance. Day and night the wheels spin. 80,000 miles of wire are used, enough to wrap around the earth 3 times. Slowly the thousands of thin wires are bundled together. A hydraulic press squeezes them into 2 massive main cables, each 3 feet thick. They are no longer fragile threads. They are steel muscles, capable of holding up the roadway and the thousands of cars that will one day cross. The cables are wrapped in soft annealed wire to protect them from the salty air. Then they are painted. Not black, not gray, but a color chosen by Irving Morrow, International Orange. It is a color that complements the natural surroundings and, crucially, makes the bridge visible to ships in the fog. 1936. The cables are spun. The suspender ropes, the vertical hangers, are draped like harp strings. Now the bridge needs a floor. The steel deck trusses are lifted from barges below. Piece by piece the roadway extends outwards from each tower, meeting in the middle. This is the most dangerous time. Men are working directly over the water, handling heavy steel in unpredictable winds. Strauss knows the grim statistic of bridge building: 1 life for every $1 million spent. The Golden Gate cost $35 million. By that logic, 35 men should die. Strauss refuses to accept that math. He spends $130,000 on a revolutionary safety device. A giant net, strung under the entire length of the bridge. It looks like a circus trapeze net. The workers laugh at it at first. They call it a sissy net. But then a man slips. He falls and bounces. He is alive. Then another. And another. By the end of the project, 19 men fall into the net and survive. They call themselves the Halfway to Hell Club. The net gives the workers confidence. They move faster, bolder. The bridge is ahead of schedule. But the Golden Gate demands a sacrifice. February 17, 1937. The bridge is nearly finished. A heavy scaffold platform carrying 12 men and tons of wet concrete breaks loose from the underside of the deck. It falls. The weight is too much for the safety net. The net tears with a sickening rip. The platform, the net, and the men plunge 200 feet into the icy waters of the strait. 10 men die. Only 2 survive the fall. The project grinds to a halt. The Halfway to Hell Club is no longer a joke. The strait has taken its toll. For days the mood on the bridge is somber. The wind whistles through the steel like a mournful song. But they are so close. The work resumes. The net is repaired. The final rivets are driven. The roadway is paved. May 27, 1937. Pedestrian Day. Before a single car drives across, the bridge is open to the people. 200,000 San Franciscans flood onto the deck. They walk, they run, they roller skate. They wear their Sunday best, hats, coats, and ties. There is a moment of panic. The engineers watching from the towers see the bridge deck flatten under the immense weight of the crowd. The arch of the roadway disappears. But the bridge holds. It was designed to bend, to sway, to breathe. The next day, President Roosevelt presses a button in the White House, and the bridge is officially open to cars. The Golden Gate Bridge is more than steel and concrete. It is a testament to human will. Stands where they said it couldn't stand. It endures the fog, the wind, and the salt. It is the most beautiful bridge in the world, not because of its shape or its color, but because of the struggle it represents. It is the impossible made real. And every time the fog rolls in, wrapping the great red towers in a white embrace, you can almost hear the ghosts of the workers hammering in the mist, building a path across the sky.